Hello. A while ago I made a video claiming to have gotten a 20-minute and 30-second flight time using this little Diatone ET200 frame and a Nanotech 1.32 cell battery. But what I forgot to mention when I made that video is that the way I did that was by flying it upside down like this. The idea being that theoretically that is a little bit more efficient. It will depend, of course, on the shape of the arms, and in this case there's some holes in there, and the distance between the props and the arms and a few other things. But I think in general it's supposed to be a little bit more efficient to have the motors pushing down on a clear space. And that was my experience. At least I didn't get to check again with these exact same batteries. Unfortunately, both of these ones that I have seem to be, the cells are getting a little bit unbalanced or something. But I did a check with these batteries, and they were exactly the same cell voltages on each one when I tried. And the time difference I got between them was managed to get 14 minutes and 8 seconds on the normal configuration, so that's with the motors upwards, and with the motors facing down I got 15.05 15 minutes and 5 seconds rather. So that's about a 7% increase in flight time. And like I say, the battery cells were exactly the same on both batteries when I started that test. So I think it's safe to say that it is a little bit more efficient to fly with the motors facing down, although it's not really a huge deal. But it turns out that it's very, very simple to make this change and try one way or the other. So I thought I'd make a very quick video to point out what you can do, at least if you're using cleanflight, what you can do to switch over your model to be flying upside down like this. So all you need to do is swap the motor connections that you have between your flight controller and your ESCs, and you'll need to swap the motors left to right. So you'd swap the connection for this motor to come over here and this motor to come over here. So on a quad, that's just a matter of unplugging the 4 pins for the motors and switching them around. And then you need to, let's just look at this for a moment. You need to add 180 degrees to roll. I guess you could also subtract 180 degrees. It would give you the same effect. So that would mean that you come down here, and if you have 0 there, you would put 180, and then you need to negate the yaw. A lot of people would probably just have the yaw as 0, but I've been running this, as you can see, I've got the USB plug coming in from the side, which means that what I've done here is I've actually set the board 90 degrees round and it's facing to the side. So if you've done that, then you will also need to negate the yaw. In this case it's 90, so I would make it minus 90. A little bit hard to see there, but I made that a minus. If you have mounted your flight controller board so that the pitch is not 0, what were you thinking? Don't do that. Silly. Just kind of a cheating way of saying I don't really know what you would need to do to change that, but it's probably unusual anyway. So I'll just leave that to you to figure out if you've done that. And then we need to calibrate the accelerometer and the magnetometer again, so that would be on this page. You'll definitely need to do the accelerometer. I found that once or twice I did need to do the magnetometer as well, because when I found that when I was moving it around, when I tipped it upwards, it would suddenly flip around like that. At least the little box in the configurator would flip around, not the quad. And that fixed itself when I did the magnetometer calibration again. So I'm not sure if you need to do that every time, but I found it's safe to do that if you have a magnetometer on your flight controller. And then what else do we need to do? Oh, change props, of course. So the last thing that you'll need to do is take your props and... where are my props? Okay, so let's say you have your props on there like that. Then you would need to pretend that the frame has done a 180-degree roll and the props have stayed where they are. Or I guess you could think of it as the props have done a 180-degree roll, so they would go, this prop would come over like that, and go on there, and then this prop would come over and roll onto there. So you do that, swap them each left and right on each one. If you have a hexacopter, I guess it's just all of the left and rights would be swapped over. And that's all there is to it. If you try that and you find that that's not all there is to it, then I've obviously forgotten something or left something out, or something that just didn't apply to my particular case. But I can't really think what it would be. So if there is something that I've forgotten, just let us know in the comments. Anyway, so once you've done that, you should find yourself able to fly upside down.